The FA did not catch Chelsea. Chelsea went and reported themselves to the FA. Look, oh, we might be guilty. Take us down and check us. Report broke in the last 24 hours that Chelsea has been charged with 74 breaches of FA's agent regulation rules between 2009 and 2022 under Roman Abramovich. Breaches relate primarily to the period of the 2010-2011 season to the 2015-2016 season. Chelsea have until 19th of September to answer. There have been many rumors circulating. People have been saying different things. Many people don't understand the situation. And in this video, I'm going to educate you properly on what Chelsea did, what is happening, and the potential punishments Chelsea can face. So right now, you should like the video, subscribe and share if you are new to the channel, and make sure you show love in the comment section. Let's get into the video. It all started 3 years ago when the new ownership wanted to buy Chelsea. When the new ownership wanted to take over, they found some discrepancies in Chelsea's accounts. They were doing their due diligence. You know, when you want to buy something, you have to check. If you want to buy a car, you check the car, check the engine, check the tires, check. That is what the owners were doing. And while doing that, they found that some payments were not recorded properly in Chelsea's accounts. The accounts submitted to the FA, UEFA, and also submitted to the Premier League. So when making payment for the club, £2.5 billion as at that time, they said, Roman Abramovich, look, we are going to withhold £100 million from your payment just to save us from any liabilities, because we'll probably go to court because we have seen some major discrepancies. So, brother, we are going to hold £100 million of your money just to save us from any future costs. The new owners now saw that there were some potential breaches of the new rules by the FA and said, look, FA, see, the old ownership, see what they were doing, us, our hands are clean. If you notice, the breaches of this FA, the 74 breaches, are between 2009 and 2022. When was Chelsea bought by Clear Lake? 2022. So they said Abramovich was the one doing these things. Our hands are not inside. Our hands are clear. Now, there were some payments to historic transfers under Abramovich, which were not recorded properly under Chelsea's accounts. Particularly, Eden Hazard. You can think of Willian. Some were even saying Samuel Eto'o too. These are some players that are named that came up. You can think of many other names between, especially that 2010 to 2016 period. If you are around during that Eden Hazard time, you know that there was a massive possibility of him going to Manchester United. And with what has come out, what they are basically trying to suggest is that Chelsea now will go and meet these agents, because the player agents play like the biggest role in transfers. You can literally manipulate a transfer by having a upper hand with the player agents. Maybe they are saying that Chelsea might have gone through the backyard and made some payments, because you are to register your payments to the club, to the agents, to anybody you are paying to within a transfer. You are to register every single thing, because anything that is not registered is seen as you having a upper hand. For instance, now you want to buy the Hazard for £50 million, maybe, and the transfer is not going. Maybe Manchester United, he's torn, because at that time Man United was, in England. Once you hear Man United, you want to go there. Hazard might be thinking, I want to go to Man United. But then they'll go and meet the agents. Look, oh boy, we'll give you £2 million. We'll give you £10 million. Make this transfer happen. Convince your player to come to our club. It's done. Now, the FA is saying these payments were not registered. And while going through the books of Chelsea, the new ownership has seen that truly these payments were not registered. And they have gone to meet the FA and say, Oga, our hand no dey inside this thing. You understand? Willian also did this thing. So the Chelsea now have up until 19th of September to reply. What are the potential punishment that Chelsea can face due to these breaches? They can face financial payments, which I think is actually most probable, financial penalty. I think there was a time Arsenal violated one FA rule and they paid about £60,000 or something like that. I don't think that, in comparison to how big the case is right now, I think that would be a slap on the wrist. That would be like bare minimum punishment. But I do think that a sports sanction will be unfair to Chelsea. What is a sports sanction? Like a deduction, point deduction, stripping them of some UCL titles, stripping them of some Premier League titles. Yes, it can get that extreme. It can go that far. But I think it will be unfair, especially a point deduction. That's currently like last season, I think Everton suffered a point deduction because of these same financial problems they had, breaking some rules. I think it will be unfair. Why? Because the new owners, their hands are not inside. The new players, the new staff, the new manager, they didn't do anything. So if you are removing points from them, it's like you're punishing them for the sins and the crimes of Roman Abramovich. That is just it. So I think that will most likely be a massive financial payment and maybe 1 or 2 transfer restrictions we put upon Chelsea in this respect. But the FA will be looking to make a statement with this situation. They will be looking to set a precedent because I know this is happening with many other clubs. Now, who then catch be thief? If you think that an industry, a place, a setting where millions are flying around, hey, they are paying £100 million for this player, £200 million, this and that. If you think that shady business, wuru business, corruption is not happening, then you are the most naive person I know. Your ignorance has no bounds. Corruption is bound to happen in anything that human beings are involved. That is my own school of thought. Anything that you say, like any industry, to the industry that I think is the purest, once human beings, their hands are inside, there must be corruption. So these things are happening. And FA might be looking to set a precedent that, look, other clubs, if you try this thing Chelsea did, this is what will happen to you. So they might not want to allow Chelsea go off, get away with it easily. I don't think it will go as extreme as, stripping them of a UCL or Premier League title, that kind of thing. I do not think so. But I do think that they will take some extreme measures, maybe like a transfer ban or, a transfer ban plus a heavy financial fee that they'll pay. And I saw many people, there's a conspiracy theory I saw on Twitter that I quite agree with. The boy dropped a very good conspiracy theory. So he tweeted, first of all, he said, I just figured it out. The FA has no right to keep the billions from Roman Abramovich's sale, which I think, if you know as at that time, I think the FA kept it because of the war and stuff like that. Other than they felt he was morally unjust and aligning with, the president of that world power, if you know what I'm talking about, which doesn't hold up. But if new ownership reports Roman did everything corrupt, they don't have to fight a court battle. That's if Clear Lake now report themselves to the FA by themselves, they don't have to fight a massive court battle. Their penalty will be reduced because they couldn't give any other reason besides Roman was friends with that world power guy to justify keeping the billions from Clear Lake buying the team. So they had Clear Lake report Roman did everything corrupt so they don't lose in international court and they don't strip us. Because if this goes to international court, FA is under fire. Chelsea is under fire. It becomes bigger than Chelsea itself. So I'm sure the FA must have struck a deal with Chelsea and said, look, Clear Lake, if you report this guy to right now, because clearly I think FA is still holding some of Roman's money because they have the right to, I think, because, of what they think he's involved in. And he said it once more that the reason Chelsea's ownership has reported fraudulent behavior from Roman, 74 charges, justify non-stop corruption. They get to keep the team and not be punished. The FA/government gets to justify keeping the money from the sale. That is, the FA and the government of the UK is keeping the money from the sale of Chelsea from, what's his name? Roman Abramovich. Yes, it has been sold, but I don't think the proceeds from the sale is with Roman Abramovich. I think it is currently held with the UK government and the FA. So it's a very dicey situation. And I really, really agree with this guy's conspiracy theory. It really makes a lot of sense to me. It makes a whole lot of sense to me. So Chelsea Football Club right now, Manchester City, we have to still look at you. These are one of the questions people are asking. What is going on with the Man City charges? 115 charges. Well, the focus is on Chelsea right now. And honestly, I know shady business is happening. I know Chelsea even know that they are guilty. I said it before that Chelsea's accountants should be they should be the highest paid in the world because of how they can close some deals, close some players. When I look at some things like what they do with Blue Co, I think Strasbourg, that they will buy a player in Strasbourg, he's playing for Strasbourg, Chelsea own the player. I mean, there are some unethical things happening. And honestly, I will not blame the fan for this. That's why I will not attack any Chelsea fan. It's not your fault. It's your club's fault, you know. Even though it's not like the fan has nothing to. Obviously, we'll see banter your club that your club is corrupt, this and that. Yeah, fine. These are billionaires. Let me not lie to you. 99% of them are corrupt. Their ways are not clean. So football is a dirty game. You understand? Unfortunately, it is a dirty game, and I'm interested to see the precedent that the FA will set with this. If you want to buy the Chelsea home away or thought kit, make sure you go to Adika's Take Store. Because of me explaining, I didn't even have time to do an advert. Wow. But go to the Adika's Take Store, buy the Chelsea home away or thought kit. If you got to this point in this video, I'm actually surprised. Or message us on WhatsApp, this phone number above. Delivery is worldwide. So that is it. That is the situation in Chelsea. I think I've covered everything. We'll wait until the 19th to see the hearing or what Chelsea will reply to the FA with. I think Chelsea must have already devised a strategy. And you know this kind of thing. I don't know if you have watched this film where a criminal knows he's guilty and they have found him guilty, but you know, behind the doors, the government come and meet him that if you report on this person, if you snitch on this person, look, your sentence will go from 50 years to 20 years. That's basically what Chelsea has done for Roman Abramovich. The new ownership has said, look, I'm not trying to catch some smoke. I don't want any problems. Look at what this brother did. And, you know, who knows the extent of what Roman Abramovich must have done, what it has cost to other clubs. I'm not saying that Man United would have won many Premier Leagues in that time, but there are a couple of transfers here and there, especially Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard ended up being one of Chelsea's greatest ever players. Imagine what it would have been. He might have flopped at Man U. Who knows? But I'm just saying, you know, I think I said it was bought after Roman Abramovich left, right? I'm not sure. But I think I said it was bought after that. But if you're not bought after that, maybe as a Liverpool fan, I would think, look like I slept. The news was Caicedo to Liverpool. Here we go. I just woke up. Caicedo is going to Chelsea again. So those kind of things, you wonder what has gone on in the background. But I still maintain that I believe most clubs are doing this. Maybe one league that I think that might not be doing this a lot is the Bundesliga because, you know, they have 50-1 rule. I think the fans own majority of the club. That's 50. And then one owner, that will probably be the billionaire. So no matter the decision that happen, the fans always have the majority vote. So that's a good way of keeping things in check. But then football will be boring. That's why the Premier League is the most exciting because it has the most money to spend and has the most money to invest. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Pardon me, what do you think is the way forward for Chelsea? What do you think? Where do they go from here? Do I think Chelsea is guilty? Probably, most probably. And Chelsea knows that. They know that the Abramovich administration is guilty. That's why they went to report and they want to reduce their sentence and get a lighter punishment, which I think is the best solution. Unfortunately, many Chelsea fans love Abramovich. They have a very tight emotional connection to that guy. But as of this time, what is best for the club going forward and presently, I think it is what Chelsea has done. And kudos to them for handling this situation swiftly. So let's see how it will pan out. And I hope I've been able to educate you guys properly. Before you go around and say, Chelsea is guilty. Chelsea, they should collect their UCL. Learn first, eh? I know. One advice is, yourself, when you chop wire, no go win Club World Cup, eh? This Club World Cup you won is bringing too much attention to you. Just like if you are doing fraud and you go and buy Rolls Royce, everybody will now looking, this guy has money, this guy. You don't live low-key life, eh? You go win Club World Cup. No low-key life. But thank you very much for doing this. If you watched the video up to this point, comment watched. Just write watched so that they'll be confused. Those that left on time, just comment watched right now. Please do like the video, subscribe and share. Please like the video. It's very, very important. Like the video. Very, very important. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. As I said, Adika's Takes is out. Peace out.